everyone, this is Global Fashion Workshop. I remind you that we post new videos every day. I also want to remind you that some of my video courses are already available. Buy them if you haven't done it yet. I would really appreciate your support. Our lesson is pretty unusual today. We needed to shoot it as up. We need to make a flower fabric for this dress. We've already shown you this dress. We are going to make a video course on how to sew such waistbands. This is going to be a mini course. And now we need to make a flower fabric to decorate this dress. I got a flu, so Ira is going to talk instead of me. I think that the name of the video should be Beauty Has Its Price. I'm talking about myself talking. First, we need to fold the tracing paper in half and drop it perpendicular to the fold. Make sure that this angle is straight. The flower is going to be made of fabric, the same fabric the dress was made of. I need to measure and mark 8 cm up from the line. I remind you that this is the fold. Be very attentive. I also need to measure and mark 16 cm on the fold. Next, I need to connect these points with a round, beautiful line. It should be straight here and round down to the other point. We need to cut this detail next. We are much better at cutting than we are at drawing. We just show you the technique. You can make the details of any shape and size you want. Do not forget to mark the center in the pattern. This is the pattern for the biggest petal in the flower. This line marks the fold. It should be cut on a bias. This is very important. Do not forget about it. This is how the detail is going to be cut. This is the center of the pattern, and there will be a fold here. This is the pattern number 1. We're going to make 3 details of this size. We need to make several more patterns. The second one will be 1 cm smaller. The third one will be 1 more centimeter smaller. And the fourth one will be 1 more centimeter smaller. We're changing both the width and the length. I'll show you how the flower is going to look like. These are the patterns. I'll sign them. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. These are the 4 patterns. We showed you how to make them. The most important thing is that the bottom line should be cut on a bias. And there should be a fold there. It's very important. We've already cut all the needed details. We folded the fabric on a bias, attached the patterns, and cut 3 petals of each size. We've decided to do it off the camera, because it would have taken us too much time to do it on the camera. Have a look at the cut details. As I've said, we have patterns of 4 sizes, and we cut 3 petals of each size. We're going to make a flower of the same fabrics the dress was made of. This is how the details look like. As I've said, this line marks the fold, and it should be cut in a bias. This is how the fabric was folded for cutting. As I've said, we cut 3 details of each size. I will sew them by hand, and Ira will make seam in each petal with a sewing machine to make the gathers. Let's start with the smallest details. We're going to make seams in each petal. The width of the seam is 5 mm. Do not forget to mark the lower sides in the details to know which thread to pull. When all the details are stitched, it wouldn't be hard to mix them. The stitches shouldn't be too small. We are going to stitch 12 details this way. Do not cut the threads and do not make back stitches. This is very important. Put the petals in different piles according to their size. As I've said, we are going to stitch all 12 details this way. I've asked Ira to come here because my voice is hoarse. I like talking, it's true. I can't stay silent. My flower will be 15 centimeters big. You can make it smaller or bigger. Small flowers also look very beautiful. You can decorate it with different straps. Be creative. Make such flowers of tulle. They would look amazing.
А из сетки можно делать без сгиба, а просто брать сетку фатин в один слой. И вот брать вот эти кусочки, и вот так же их присобирать, и сделать такие цветы, на что-то нашивать из сетки. Представь, как будет круто. Ой, как мы хотим.
You can actually make the details of tulle of one layer. It would also look amazing. Have a look here. Ira has stitched the petals. We've also made some bindings. We've decided to decorate the flower with them. We've already shown you how to make such details. Next, we need to take one petal and stretch the folded side. Watch the way I'm doing it. It gets uneven. It's right.
Прямо потянули, 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 а вот эту часть начали стягивать. Да, вот изнаночная сторона, это та сторона, которая...
And the other side should be gathered. Pull one thread to do it. I remind you that we are making petals of 4 different sizes. How long is this side? 29 centimeters. I want to gather it up to 10 or 9 centimeters. I want to gather this one even more because it is going to be attached in the center of the flower. I'm going to make a rows of these beautiful petals. We've decided to make a stamen of these straps. I think it would look amazing. I want to be different and beautiful. This is why we're making the flower. Never throw away such beautiful pieces of fabric. You can make beautiful flowers of them. I need to knot the edges. You can make as many of such details as you want. I need to stitch them together. I'm making just a couple of stitches. We're going to form a flower around them. The dress is going to be so beautiful. I take the smallest petal. I need to cut the extra pieces and threads from it. Watch what I'm doing. Next, I need to sew the first petal. Watch the way I'm doing it. Don't worry about the fact that the lower part is raw. We'll cover it later. Attach the center of the following petal to the opening and sew it. Watch the way I'm attaching the details. I hope that everything is clear so far. It's very important to make the center part of the flower beautiful. The rest will be okay. Make the flowers of the very beautiful shape. We can tell you exactly what to do. Just have a look at the detail you're making. Ira is stretching one side in the details and gathering the other. And I'm attaching the second petal. What we're doing now is not hard. I'm sure that you'll manage to sew such amazing flowers. Attach the petals in such way that their edges are not seen from the right side. Don't worry if it's crumpled. We'll spread it later. I take the third petal and attach its center to the opening. Sew it to the base. Be careful. Do not stretch it. The flower should be neat on the face. Check it from time to time. The raw edges shouldn't be seen. I need the next one. The flower is going to be very beautiful. It will make the dress look absolutely amazing. Be very careful when attaching the petals. This is how the flower looks like now. When it's finished, it would look much better. I can't wait to see the result. We have 10 beige petals and 2 colored ones. This is how much fabric we had. When sewing the petals, form the flower base. Make sure that the raw edges are not seen here. You can attach layers of tulle in between the petals.
Из чего угодно. Вообще, Ира, знаешь, как-то считается, про портных говорят, сапожник без
To tell the truth, the saying all cobblers go barefoot is not about me. I like sewing new garments for myself.
ходить. Я думаю, что если в молодости у меня была возможность не ходить...
Earlier, it was pretty hard to buy high quality clothes, so I started sewing.
Ну, основное,
Nowadays, it's actually the same.
а потом ты, конечно,
You can hardly find high quality garments in stores.
Да, тогда еще.
чё я в школе
That's why our profession is so demanded.
годы ничего не было.
Да,
Но Ира не знает, что было в 70-е годы. Я думаю, что многие знают наши.
именно поэтому это и побуждало что-то делать своими руками.
А сейчас много чего.
This is what we are here for.
Вот это и побуждало.
We want you to be able to sew high quality, beautiful garments for yourselves as well.
Там, конечно, правда есть что
We are not greedy. We share the sewing techniques and details which we know with you.
Хорошая одежда, но это ж не везде по нашей стране так.
Have a look here.
Купить, еще ж деньги заплатить за нее. Смотрим, что у нас
This is how the flower looks like now.
с начала нашего цветка. Вот. Очень уже все утрамбовано здесь. Вот
Its center part is very thick
очень
and strong.
тяжело втаскивать иголку.
It's pretty hard to pierce it with a needle.
Можно прям украсить.
Я
The
думаю,
colored petals will make the flower look even more beautiful.
это было накануне
When we were shooting the video, the lights went out,
у нас во всем
and we had to finish the flower off the camera.
ждали, ждали, свет так и не появился.
I hope that you understood the technique.
Суматоху на следующий день было очень трудно, и мы тут где в темноте, где вручную, где как, где уже на улице на солнышке цветок дошивали. Ну, я думаю, что из того, сколько мы с Ирой сняли, вы поняли.
There's nothing complicated about
Я
it.
хочу показать вот так вот.
This is how the finished flower looks like.
Из чего угодно.
You can make such flower of any fabric you like.
Можно всё
Silk,
комбинировать. Вот
chiffon,
немножко
tulle.
цвет добавлен, это хорошо. После того, как вы
When you sew all petals together, cover the wrong side with a felt or a piece of fabric doubled with the interfacing material. Sew it by hand.
вручную закрыть вот это вот все, и получается вот такой цветок. Вот так он выглядит с изнанки. Мы
We've also decorated the flower with the straps.
Сколько у нас хватило ткани, мы настолько сделали.
The flower looks absolutely amazing.
Делали мы его очень трудно, в очень тяжелых условиях. Однако
It was funny that we had to finish sewing it off the camera without the light.
аксессуары, конечно, выручили, потому что платье очень простое.
This accessory is very helpful
Фасону очень хорошо добавлять аксессуары.
because it's not hard to make it
Рада, что мы
and it looks absolutely
в
amazing.
таком виде, в каком смогли вам показали. Я думаю,
You know that I like the garments of simple designs.
нашего занятия по изготовлению
Such details can help us make the garments look much more interesting.
у наших женщин будет немало цветов разных. Я с удовольствием надевала его, но из тафты, видите, он
This flower is made of strong fabric.
это зависит от того, кто из чего будет делать. Вот эти рулечки, когда обрежете, вот
If you decide to attach the straps, make knots in the ends.
раз такие узелочки в конце, видите, да, и он уже больше не будет рассыпаться. Из руликов можно делать не только вот эти серединки, вот видите, да, не только вот эти вот такие, а тут можно еще такие бантики.
I remind you that we've also attached the straps in the center of the flower.
Решаем, как можем. Можно внутрь
Use your imagination. Be creative.
каких-то бусин.
Attach different details, Swarovski crystals, some beads or stones.
Ну, я рада тому, что
I am glad that I have an opportunity to show you different interesting techniques and
я,
details.
конечно, ну, не очень довольна, что нам не
I was glad to show you how to make such beautiful flowers.
не стало, и мы не смогли показать. Ну, то, что
I want us to be different and beautiful every day. My name is Irina Paukshte.
похожими сами на себя изо дня в день.
Buy my courses, subscribe to my channel, write comments, share the videos, press the like and the bell buttons. I would really appreciate your support. Thank you. Goodbye.